morning, Caylee. How you doing?
Good morning, Greg. I'm great. I'm up in beautiful Kelowna here sitting on the golf course, so it's a nice view.
Looks beautiful. Looks beautiful. Love the interior. Such a nice part of BC.
Yeah, it's really nice. How are you doing?
Good, great. I'm, kids are getting ready to go back to school, which is about time, right?
Oh my gosh, I'm praying that it happens.
Yeah, me too. Like, get out of here.
I'm so ready. How about all the rest of you parents listening in? Are you ready too?
Yeah, I think we're all ready. I think we're ready. Yeah. Today we have a cool topic. I have been in endless conversations with thousands of beauty professionals over the years around the ideas and the concepts and the benchmarks of commission. And it's been all over the map, and I've heard all sorts of numbers, and they seem to be creeping up. Now, that's just me, a sample of one speaking, but I keep hearing numbers going up in the commission game. And it concerns me, of course, because many stylists, salon owners, and barbershops don't make enough money. Yeah. So let's unpack this. Let's talk commission. You're the expert. What have you got? How can you guide us all on commission and how we should be thinking about it?
Well, the first thing is I remember talking to Bill from Suki's, and I was paying 50%, and he said, "You'll never make money." And I was like, what do you mean? We always got 50% historically. Like, my boss made money and she got 50%. And so what we haven't considered, Greg, is all of the additional expenses that we didn't used to have. And so we've taken this old business model and we've grown to this new culture that requires social media, software, all of these different services to create an experience, and we never changed the business model. So go ahead and just tell me, Greg, and anyone who's listening, go in the comments and tell me what new expenses do we have that we didn't have back in the day. And it's not that long ago, because it's in my day and I'm not that old, okay? But when I started, I had a paper appointment book, right? I had a paper appointment book. So what other things have you seen in salons that are new expenses that we didn't have back then?
Right, and we have so many of them. I mean, just in terms of, like you say, social media costs, expenses, not only out-of-pocket costs, but time. We all, we talk about this need to have all these followers and comments and engagement on Instagram. Well, that takes time, and time is money. I mean, that's just one small example, but that didn't exist even just 8 years ago. The iPhone is only 11 years old. Yeah.
We didn't have websites.
Right.
We didn't have to pay for website hosting, website creation. We didn't have social media people we didn't really do that type of marketing, right? We might have put an ad in the newspaper. So all of these, and then we didn't have Visa. So Visa's taken a huge chunk out of the top of the business.
Right.
Because they're taking that before taxes, everything. They get a line right off of the expenses. So there's just so many, we didn't necessarily have as much reception or support staff. Mm-hmm. There's just so many new rents were lower.
Rent. Yeah. I was just going to say rent has just gone through the roof, and insurance too, right?
Yeah. Insurances, product costs have gone up, and the clients requiring more. We didn't serve fancy lattes. Mm-hmm. When I started working out in my career, we didn't serve that. So, you pay $5 at Starbucks for that, and you're giving it for free as a value add on your service. So what we've done is we've added all these new expenses, but we kept paying people the same, and the business model no longer works. It just doesn't work.
All right.
But everybody's too scared to be the first ones to change because they're worried the staff's going to go down the road and go somewhere else, right? And so the staff have the owners by the neck, really, with this power to say, I can just leave. And so everyone's just paralyzed in fear. And so somebody, you who's listening, need to step out and be the change. And I did that in my business. And I slept with one eye open for months thinking they're going to leave. But what we have to do is have the right conversations. And so we got to stop having this commission tug of war between our staff, and we need to start operating as a team. And so what I had to really educate my team was, when you win, I win. So everything I'm doing is to make you win. And one of my clients came to me and she said, my stylist just said she's going to leave to a salon about an hour away because they're going to offer her 60%. Oh. And she says, what should I say to her? And I said, ask her 60% of what? Because likely where she was going, the haircut price is lower. They likely have less traffic. She's going to be leaving an already steady clientele. And so I said, the question that you need to be asking as a stylist and as an owner, the thing you need to educate your team about is to ask, what's their take-home pay? Show me the stylist T4s. Show me what they're getting paid, because at the end of the day, what the stylist really wants to know is, do I have a career path?
Right.
Am I going to be able to make more money? How am I going to be able to make more money? And so it's kind of like when a client phones the salon and asks for the haircut price. It's kind of the only thing they know how to ask, but it's not the only thing they care about. They care about how their experience is going to be,
Sure.
if the stylist is qualified. And so when the staff are coming asking for more commission, they're kind of asking like, how do I make more money here? How do you show me that you value me? But that's the only thing they know how to ask. So as the owner, we need to go back to them and say, here's the reasons why this is the commission rate, and here's all the things we're going to do to help you make more money with this same commission rate.
That's such an interesting concept, because the whole experience of the customer inside of a business, whether it be retail or service, is totally changing. And once upon a time, you used to just go to a store and buy something. Well, now you've got samples, music, environment, look and learn, all sorts of things. And really, that we've seen big retailers go out of business, like Sears, for example, because the experience wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Whereas you walk into something like, I don't know, anything, Lululemon, Lush, it's a totally different experience. And so we need to be aware that that's actually where the business is going to go. And so, yeah, you can get, if you're making more commission in a poorer experience, chances are you're not going to make as much down the road, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the conversation, I've had with I had one of my team members come to me. She was at a hair show and someone hit her up with 50-50 because we paid less than 50. And I said, that's good for you. Ask them how much the staff, ask their other staff how much they take home on their T4. It wasn't anywhere near what she was taking home.
Right. Interesting.
We have to know our business model, know what we have to offer. And Greg, I'd love to share with you this spreadsheet, the dirty word spreadsheet, but it's so eye-opening. And I think people are overpaying because they're not looking at this. They're not looking at this in their business. So I'm going to show you.
Yeah, let's see it, because I love this whole idea of overpaying because we're not paying attention to the business. So let's take a look and see what it looks like.
Okay, so here's a lot of numbers here, but just follow my little mouse here so you don't have to look at everything. Don't get overwhelmed. But here, this is service salaries, and we've budgeted 50%, okay, for the service salaries.
Yep.
And so that's showing that we're making a profit, okay, because we've got all the other expenses in check. But remember, profit's different from cash flow. Profit's different from cash flow. So if we go, where is my profit going here? We can see we've got a really tight cash flow, and $30,000 profit is nothing for a business, because profit has to pay for new stock. Profit has to pay for taxes. Profit has to pay for the owner's dividends if they want to get paid anything at all. And so I want to just show you, if we change that slightly, like let's say they hit us up for 55%, right? Let's say they hit us up for 55, and now we're still profitable while some months are really tight. Where's my profit going? Oof, I have zero cash flow.
Oh boy.
You see all this red? That means no money in the bank.
That is not good. That is not good.
Not good. And so our current benchmarks that we're working with in today's salon world, your payroll needs to be under 40% to make it, anything of an interesting business. And the reason a stylist would want to work at a profitable business is because then that profit can pay for stocking the shelves properly. Have you ever been in a salon where you don't have the color you need because they can't afford to put the inventory on the shelf? So that company can pay for education, travel. Like, you want to work for a company that's profitable. It's not just about the owner putting money in their pocket. So let's try that again.
Yeah.
And let's do 40% and just see the difference in cash flow.
Can I just stop you for 1 sec, Caylee?
Yeah.
So just to kind of get a little bit of a bird's eye on this spreadsheet, if you scroll back up to where you entered that commission value, so in your little magic spreadsheet, I'm going to call it a magic spreadsheet. You're just changing one little thing here, aren't you? You're just changing that little value in there. You're putting 40% in that box, that one, Yeah. And so everything else is automagically changing.
Magically, it's magic, and that's why it's not scary, right?
Yeah,
That's
I like
why
that.
like every salon owner needs a spreadsheet. I spent years creating this spreadsheet. It's so smart. It tells you it tells you what you need to save every month. So this salon needs to be putting away $15,000 every month for
Wow.
all of the expenses that are going to creep up on them, because that was my biggest learning as a salon owner. Was your bookkeeper is telling you when something's due. They're not telling you to budget for it. And
Mhm.
so all of a sudden you owe GST, you owe HST, you owe PST, whatever tax you're at. So this particular spreadsheet showing them, it's showing you how much money you're going to have in the bank. So see, at 40%, we just jumped from a 30% profit when we were paying out 50% to now a $30,000 profit. Just by changing that to 40%, we've got $90,000 in the bank at the end of the year.
That's a huge, huge difference.
Huge.
So you were talking a little bit about the tug of war. So describe, I guess, the tug of war, because I can see kind of the rope going towards the owner on this one when you make that change, and then of course the person on commission, and they don't have to be a stylist, they could be anyone that's on commission, wants to pull the rope the other way.
Yeah, exactly. So we're back at this number, and the team's trying to pull this up and the owner's trying to pull this down. So I'm a big fan of, I'm going to unshare this so we don't have to look at these numbers anymore. Is there anything else you want to see on here? I think we made the point, right?
I think the point is pretty clear and pretty obvious. Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of sliding scales.
Okay.
So that the people, because I do believe like we want the people who work hard to get rewarded for their work.
Right.
And so when you have a sliding scale and you can start say at 38%, or you can start your first few levels at a salary or a wage, and then you can tip the scale up to maybe 48 or something like that. You have to crunch the numbers because every business is going to be able to afford something different. Then you can still, your payroll can still fall under 40%, but you could still be paying out to your really like superstars 46, 48%. And so it just balances out. So that's a nice model. And there's also different salary models that can achieve, like team-based pay salons can achieve like a 30% payroll.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, it's a nicer business model, but again, is it rewarding the right people? So I like the sliding scale because you're still rewarding the right people. We want our team to make money. We want them to be above, like you said, what's the poverty wage? And
well, the poverty level is, I don't know, but I think it's just around 30. I mean, if you really think about it, $28,000 or something, it's not, I don't know the number. I'll have it below. I'll go find it.
Yeah.
But you actually do need quite a bit of money to feed you, your children, pay your rent, pay your mortgage, take the bus if you can't afford a car. Life ain't cheap.
No. And it's not about the salon owner getting rich. It's not about the salon owner being greedy. It's about creating a win-win where everybody has an amazing career path to follow and everybody's winning. So like some salons, only the stylists are winning. Some salons, the owner's winning. We need you both to win. And so we've got to find a model that works.
Yeah. And that speaks so much to leadership, culture, and just forward thinking, movement as a group, right? So you've talked a few times about this idea of the pie. So you can either get a bigger piece of a small pie or a smaller piece of a large pie. And I love that analogy because it sort of describes it well. So how do you just explain that to the people? Because I think we've all had a big piece of pie and gotten halfway through and went, okay, I've had enough. And sometimes we get the small piece of cake and we're like, wait a minute. So describe that to us a little bit. How does that sort of factor into commissions and the amount you sell? And
yeah, well, if you look at, so say you're getting 60%, but it's a smaller pie because so you're getting like a 60% portion of the smaller pie. Why is it a smaller pie? Well, we know it's going to be a smaller pie. The reason it's going to be a smaller pie is because there's no money for marketing. There's no money for support staff. So we know if you're getting 60%, you're already in a smaller pie. And so when we actually grow the pie, so grow the business with the resources that we're getting from profit, you can now have a smaller piece of that and actually be getting more pie.
Interesting.
So you're getting more pie. You're getting a bigger take-home paycheck on 40% from a very well-run salon than you are from 60% in a not well-run salon. And it's funny because I actually I interviewed a stylist, and she was getting 60%, and she was complaining about her current salon, and she's like, well, I don't want to go under 60%, but they don't have a receptionist and they expect me to book my own appointments and I have to do all these extra tasks at the end of the day. And I said, stay where you are, because you're not going to get 60% anywhere else. And the reason you don't have a receptionist is because you're getting 60%.
Right.
So if you want all these other perks of a cushy job and not having to work long hours and call your clients back, the salon can't afford that if they're paying you 60%. So we need to focus on, you know, again, like growing the pie so that your smaller slice of pie is actually more pie than that bigger slice.
Absolutely. And growing the pie is a whole operation endeavor, right? It is about increasing everything across the board, you know, from tip to tail. You've really got to work as a team to make everything better. And I've been to operations like that. I've, you know, walked in and gone, whoa, everything clicks from the moment you walk in to the moment you walk out. You bought, you know, you feel great as a customer. You've paid a little higher than you might, but you feel really good about it. And you know that everyone's doing well and everyone's got a smile on their face. So I think that's maybe the critical part of it. And we
I think we can like summarize it at that is we have to stop the commission tug of war.
Yep.
We have to educate our teams, and we need to work as a team. Right. It's not them against you. It's they win, you win. And so that's the mentality they need to understand. They need to feel supported, and you need to support them so that they can win and you can win. And so we got to get on the same team.
We totally. Caylee, the $1 million question. What is a good benchmark for an average commission that people should be looking at? Just can you offer something?
It's got to be under 40%.
Okay. Wow.
Like
all right.
our payroll. And so that doesn't mean you have, like I said, that doesn't mean you have to pay 40%. You can do the sliding scale to make it fall under. But when you get your P&L, that magic number of payroll, it's got to be under 40%, or you're just not thriving. Like you're going to be a struggling business. And it's just a fact. Like there's just so many other, we've got, like we talked about this before, 30% going to operating costs. We've got 10% rent. We've got, you know, maybe 6 to 10% product use. Like the numbers just don't add up. And so that payroll's got to get under 40% for salons to really start to feel like a real business.
I think there are going to be a lot of people listening going, oh boy, I've got a journey ahead of me, right? And so, and certainly people don't have to do this tomorrow, right? I mean, people listening can go, okay, I have to get to 40% over a year or 2 or 3, right? I mean, isn't that a strategy?
Well, I mean, I can't speak in global statements because each business is unique, and some of you need to pivot now, fast. Right. And some of you can pivot slowly, and you only know that by looking at that profit plan. So if I urge you to do anything, it's to get on top of your numbers,
Yes.
You know, and it's not just a shameless plug for my course, because I just believe in my course so much. And any way you can get in if it's sitting down with your bookkeeper, whatever it is, you need to look ahead of the future of your company and see what the state looks like. And some of you need to pivot fast, and some of you can pivot slower. And so you're going to have a completely different strategy.
Absolutely. And the key is to know the numbers and to fall in love with that spreadsheet. It's just, it's a great thing. And it's super easy, actually. I mean, looking at it.
It's really easy, especially when you have people cheering you on and walking you through it. So, but it's just critical right now because, the businesses, they just don't see far enough in the future to see how their decisions right now are affecting the future of their business.
Yep. Standard stuff in any successful business. Caylee, I want you to go and enjoy the interior. It looks absolutely beautiful. You're off to another call, I understand. So
thanks, Greg. Thanks for having me. We'll be back next week. We're going to talk about increasing sales.
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. Love that. Have a great day.
Awesome. You too, Greg. Thanks a lot for having me. Bye.